everyone, and welcome to Tropicana Lanes in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm Mike Flanagan from InsideBowling.com, and welcome to the 2015 edition of the InsideBowling.com Open, brought to you by Logo Infusion, our title sponsor, and by Kegel and the brand of Ebonite. I'm here with Jason Couch, PBA Hall of Famer. Jason, it's awesome to have you here for the finals tonight.
Thanks, Mike. It's been a great honor to be able to compete in the event tonight, and I've just had a blast, man. Thank you so much.
And you have a special guest here next to you that we wanted to get on camera right away, the proprietor here at Tropicana Lanes, along with Tino DeFranco, Mr. Ray Blue.
I am absolutely giddy to finally meet one of the guys that I just grew up loving to watch bowl. Ray, it's an absolute pleasure for you to be here. Thank you so much. It's an honor to meet you.
Well, it's great being here. Mike runs a heck of a show, and you know, I think you're Earl Anthony, aren't you? The great left-hander.
To be put in those words is awesome, Ray. I appreciate that.
Ray, thank you for being here, and thank you for letting us have the tournament here.
Oh, it's been a great pleasure having you here, and the guys, they really look good. Last year, you had a woman on the show. What happened this year?
Well, I can tell you what, Ray, the top five is really, really strong and competitive. It's going to be a great show.
And I brought me Troup, his son's here, and I bowled with him years and years ago.
Yeah, the kid's got a lot of talent, and we're excited about watching him bowl tonight, and it's going to be great.
Good luck tonight.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ray. Another exciting announcement, Jason, coming up here in just a moment. We're going to bring in Jim Cormier from Ebonite. He is the Vice President of Marketing. If you could hand your mic off to
Here you go, Jim.
Cormier.
Thank you, sir.
Jim, we have an exciting announcement to make tonight to everyone at home between Inside Bowling and Ebonite. You want to tell the folks at home a little bit about that?
Absolutely, Mike. Thank you so much. Can't tell you how excited we are to be partnering with you and InsideBowling.com. You guys not only do a tremendous job with your tournaments, you know, the IB Open was fantastic, but you also have such a good grasp of what the digital landscape is. And, you know, we really look forward to having you and Inside Bowling help guide us along the way. So very look forward to the partnership.
Yeah, me too. We're really excited to be partnering together, moving back to St. Louis, and we're looking forward to helping the Ebonite brands track Columbia, Columbia 300, Hammer, and Ebonite, the title sponsor of this tournament. Thank you so much, Jim.
That's wonderful. Now we got to get going. You got finals to do.
We do.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Jason, there we have it. Cool announcement. You and I are going to be working together a little bit here in the future, and let's get started with tonight's show.
Okay.
Tonight we have 5 great finalists that have qualified for today's show, and we have some PBA stars, we have some youngsters, and let's go over and meet those finalists right now. The number 5 seed, Ronnie Russell. He's from Marion, Indiana. You've seen him bowl on television. He averaged 231.1 in qualifying, and he had a high game of 300.
Ronnie is, you know, he's familiar with the telecast. He's bowled great under the lights. He's probably one of the best bowlers in the last 2 years by making TV shows. I think he's going to excel tonight. He's going to do very well. I wouldn't be surprised if Ronnie runs the ladder.
Yeah, me neither. And he's going to have a tough match in his first match because he's going to be bowling Kenny Ryan. He's from Chicago, Illinois. He goes to Robert Morris University. He averaged 231 in qualifying. He shot 792 the last 3 games to make the top 12.
It's been an honor to watch Kenny grow up. I mean, I got to coach him a little bit when we did our dream camp quite a few years ago in Indianapolis when he was just a kid. And he's throwing it phenomenal right now. And all he has to do is just get up there and make good shots. I think he's going to be hard to beat.
And the 3 seed tonight, the winner of the first match, will go on to take on Shawn Maldonado. He's from Houston, Texas. He's 28 years old, a 248.5 average in qualifying. He was leading from qualifying, and he has a high game in the tournament of 280.
Shawn's been bowling exceptionally well over the last 1.5 to 2 years. He's got his feet wet at the PBA Tour. You know, it's a matter of time before he does break through. He's one of the two-handed guys on the telecast tonight.
And that leads us to our second two-hander, Kyle Troup. He's our second seed. He averaged 233.1 in qualifying. He has a high game of 269, and he's really a fun player to watch from Taylorsville, North Carolina.
I've actually known the kid since he was a baby, so it's cool to watch him bowl tonight. Ball of fire. I mean, you know, he's been so intense this week. It looks like he's on a mission. I think he's going to go out there. He could get the job done tonight.
I think he could too, but we have a champion from 2 years ago who has returned to be the number 1 seed here tonight, Bill O'Neill from Langhorne, Pennsylvania. He is the real deal. He loves this bowling tournament. He averaged 230.8 in qualifying with a high game of 297 today.
Billy's a phenomenal player. He's been bowling well. He's my boy, Philly Billy, so you know I'm going to take him in the telecast tonight. You know, he's exceptional under TV lights. He's bowled well, and you know, we just look forward to seeing him make some really good shots. He's going to be really, really difficult to beat tonight.
So there you have it, folks. Tonight we could have a repeat champion, or actually a two-time champion here at this tournament, and it would be the first time for that. But we have 4 other players that have something to say about that. And when we come back, it's going to be match number 1 here from Tropicana Lanes in St. Louis, Missouri.
In the summertime, we have kids camps. We also have junior adult camps that really focus on things like preparing for high school, particularly junior gold, teen masters. And then a lot of our kids go on to actually bowl for their countries like Team USA, and it's really high-level training to prepare for those events. We do one of our best camp, which is more focused on the family, which is a junior adult camp. So the kids and the parents and a lot of relatives actually sign up. We have a wide variety of different offerings.
Welcome everyone into the 2015 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open, brought to you by Kegel, with online coverage this weekend brought to you by Ebonite. A $56,000 prize fund tonight. But before we get started, let's throw it down to Rob Gotchall, who's standing by with our 2 finalists.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with Ronnie Russell and Kenny Ryan. Ronnie, you obviously got a lot of experience on the PBA Tour. Arguably, you've had the best ball reaction on the fresh of the finalists this week. What do you think your keys to success are in running the ladder tonight?
I think just staying ahead of my moves. I'm guessing, if move here in the first few matches, if I was able to make it past the first one, I'd have a good chance. But once I get inside, my reaction struggles a little bit, so I just need to. When I leave.
Thanks, Ronnie. Best of luck. Kenny, obviously, you were the only left-hander to make the finals. You're the youngest as well. You're 18 years old, freshman in college. What do you think the keys are to keeping your emotions in check tonight?
Bowl my own game. Try to keep the lane in front of me. Just focus on just that. Make spares. It's going to be a tough match, so we'll see.
All right, well, bowl well. Best of luck to you. Back to you guys.
There you have it. Thank you, Rob Gotchall. Mike Flanagan here with PBA Hall of Famer Jason Couch. Jason, pretty exciting first match here. We've got the southpaw versus the righty. We've got the PBA veteran and Ronnie Russell against the 18-year-old college standout Kenny Ryan. He's a freshman at Robert Morris University.
Yeah, Mike, you know what I'm interested to see is to find out if Kenny's going to actually show some emotion, because he hasn't the entire tournament. But, this is a totally different beast when you get on the TV show, and it's under the lights. And let's see what happens with Kenny. Ronnie's going to come out there firing and try and get everybody pumped up.
So we take our first look at Kenny Ryan, starting on the left lane. Opens up with a strike. Best way to do it right there.
Very, very nice opening shot from Kenny. He doesn't look nervous. Surprisingly to me, I would think he would be a little nervous.
Now here's a look at Ronnie Russell. Ronnie is a household name. He's been bowling phenomenally well on the big tour. He's 35 years old from Marion, Indiana. All square through 1.
Ronnie told me, Mike, a few minutes into practice that on this pair of lanes, on the right lane, he left a lot of flush 7s. So he was a little worried about that, and I said, man, just go out and bowl. Just let your ball do the talking.
Ronnie Russell is known as the country boy, and I mentioned earlier today on the broadcast that if you were to go to a country bar, 99% of the people be wearing jeans, and he's wearing jeans tonight on the telecast.
Was that just for you?
I think so.
Nice start there.
3 balls, 3 strikes. I don't think anybody's nervous down there. We got a great little crowd down there watching the tournament. I want to thank our sponsors for sure, Logo Infusion, coming on board this year, being part of this event. What a great group over there. Adam Ishman, Ken Keegan, their marketing director, Brandon Alred. Really good people. Brandon spent a lot of time in the booth with us this week.
He sure did. He did a great job as well. And I've got my Logo Infusion shirt on tonight, guys. Feels really good.
Second frame, here's Kenny Ryan. He matches Ronnie Russell. Now, does this style look like? Does it look like any other professionals over the years, or does it remind you of anyone?
You know what? He's got a little bit of everything in him, to be honest with you. A little mix of all the guys that have been through there. He posts some great shots at the foul line, sort of like Parker Bone III. Kid's from New Jersey, so I'm sure he's YouTubed Parker a few million times. So, but you know what? He's not a over-revving guy, but he's got a lot of power on the ball. I've watched this kid grow up. I mean, he's a phenomenal bowler.
Third frame comes in just a little bit light.
And that's been the MO, guys, on this pattern. You get a little firm, it's going to go right past that break point. You really have to concentrate hard on your speed.
46-foot oil pattern. Created by myself, actually, with the help of Doug Dukes from Kegel. And Doug is just a tremendous person. He's going to be working the PWBA Tour this summer. Doug's a good one. He's a great keeper, and he's the protege to Gus Falgene is what I've been calling him. Thank you, Doug, for your help this week.
And Gus, he's a good egg as well.
Well, so far, no jitters, and it looks like they're having a good time down there.
You know what? That actually works into Ronnie's favor. The more he stays loose, the better he seems to bowl.
Here we are, third frame.
If he does happen to leave a 7-pin, I'm sure I'm going to get the eyeball again.
Comes in light. Very, very common leave, as you mentioned. We just saw Kenny do it, and now Ronnie comes in light. Looks like he missed a little bit to the outside. Got a little wide, maybe?
It looked like it. He wasn't very happy with it off his hand. On the chat, we have Scott Richards asking, is this fresh condition? Yes, we did re-oil for the TV pair, but they did get some practice on it.
Covers it up. Both players are clean through 3 frames. Pretty cool stat. A couple weeks ago here at Tropicana Lanes, they had the Women's NCAA Championships. And we're using 2 of the chairs from that event for the bowlers tonight. Ronnie Russell up on the left lane, 4th frame.
Ooh, knocking that stone 9 out late.
Notice on this telecast we do have a new feature with the target, breakpoint, and speed. A new addition here at InsideBowling.com. Thank you to Brian Burkhardt for all of the tech guru additions that he does for us. Now, I can tell you, folks, this was a very demanding pattern this week. It was not an easy pattern by any means, even though these guys, the cream of the crop, so to speak, our first match, our 4th and 5th seeds, they're having no problems on this oil pattern. Kenny Ryan, 10 back.
But as the night goes on, Mike, you know that we're going to see the scores start to drop a little bit, like we've seen all week.
Jason, you participated this week in this event, and you got to cross with many different bowlers, and you got to commentate on many bowlers. We had 228 come to our event, and 308 total entries with re-entries with a $56,000 prize fund.
Nice shot from Kenny there. Yeah, you know what, Mike? Phenomenal tournament, man. I mean, accolades to you, buddy, for just putting on a great show. Everything ran really smooth. You guys did an absolute great job. Would love to come back next year.
We'd love to have you, buddy. Yeah, I think we're going to have a long relationship with Ebonite. A lot of support from Ebonite with Jim Cormier being here, Vice President of Marketing, yourself, Rob Gotchall. They're making them look easy out there, Jason.
You know what? I think we can both say that man, that the scores were good on the fresh, and it's just going to see what happens with the transition. Kenny in my opinion has got a great advantage here if he happens to get by one match, because he's watching his own transition and no one's going to change that.
Through 5 frames, Ronnie Russell trails by 2. Look at the pin action Ronnie gets. He's been able to create that kind of pin action his whole life. He's got that unique ball roll.
It's amazing. It comes off his hand. I mean, it's such a strong roll, but it tends not to hook early. And like you said earlier in the day, it looks like his ball takes so long to get through the pins.
It really does. It's like it takes 20 seconds to get through the pins.
Ouch.
That's really the second errant shot we've seen from Kenny. That one missing inside of target. And we did notice that all throughout today in the round of 32 and in the round of 12 that he stayed in about the same part of the lane and would just ball down. And I believe he's using his most aggressive ball in his bag.
I would think that that's pretty close, but you were right. He did stay in the same spot. He just either shelled up or shelled down according to what pair he was on.
So with that opening, it's going to be interesting to see how Kenny bounces back. I will tell you one thing about this kid is he doesn't really have any nerves or any jitters. He's pretty cool, calm, and collected. I talked to him before this match, and he really didn't have a whole lot to say. He just said he was excited to come out and bowl. He wasn't putting any pressure on himself. He said, if I won the $10,000, I've been thinking about a new car, and this would allow me to do that.
He's a really good kid, and you're right. He doesn't speak many words, but he lets his ball do the talking.
He gets up on the left lane and delivers a strike. Nice bounce back. And now we're going to send it down to Rob Gotchall, who is standing by with Shawn Maldonado, our number 3 seed. Rob?
Hey, thanks, guys. Shawn, you dominated qualifying in this event. Today you had some ups and downs, but you found a way to get back into the TV show. What's going to be your game plan to win 3 matches and eventually try to take home this title tonight?
I think it's going to be real important for me to pace myself, not get too fast. I mean, these are just one game at a time, so I'm just going to have to just take it one ball, one frame at a time.
Guys, I like Shawn's take on the matches. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Rob. That's Shawn Maldonado standing by with Rob Gotchall. You know, Shawn is going to be a tough guy to beat. He led the tournament through all of qualifying and through most of the beginning, all through the 32, and then again for about 4 games of the round of 12.
Very, very unique style.
Back to action, Ronnie Russell. Looking to improve upon 3 strikes in a row.
I think for the most part, I think just Ronnie needs to be patient and just continue to bowl. He tries to get ahead of himself sometimes, and that's only really the knock on him. If he stays in the moment and continues to just work at it, he's going to bowl phenomenal.
In the past, we've seen not tremendous pin carry on this pair, and Ronnie's not having any issue at all with pin carry right now.
Would that be the first round of the jinx from Flanny?
It very well could be. But we have seen in the past, I know that Tropicana has been working very hard on their pin setters, and they've been improving some of the bad racks in this building. And maybe they've done that, and we'll see that tonight. It'll be something that we'll have to keep an eye on. But traditionally in the past, this pair's been a little tough on carry, but not for Ronnie so far. The Bird Dog Messenger, Ronnie Russell, is in well command of this match. It's really important now that Kenny Ryan go up and throw 2 more strikes here because Ronnie Russell's got him on the ropes.
Yeah, Kenny better get it going right here because Ronnie's not going to let up.
Possible max score for Ronnie Russell, 277. Kenny Ryan, 245.
How about that? Splitting the 8-9.
This kid's got some guts. There's no doubt about it. 46-foot oil pattern. The only lefty to make the top 12.
He's just a freshman at Robert Morris, by the way. I mean, at some point, the coach is going to look at him and be like, that's my guy, right?
You got to think so. He'll probably be anchoring as a junior. A lot of great talents coming out of Robert Morris University. Matt Gasson just graduated. Marshall Kent, another name, and many, many others. Comes in just high for a 6-pin. Still a pretty good shot, Jason.
Yeah, pretty good one. Just looked like he steered it up the lane just a pinch. And, you know, he's got to go. I mean, you know, he knows he needs a strike.
Fifth place receives $1,500. Fourth place, $2,000. And he covers it up. So just 2:24 left for Kenny Ryan, and Ronnie Russell pretty much has this match in command. Can still bowl 277. He bowled 300 earlier today. He's actually bowled 300 on TV also.
That is correct. Uh-oh.
Yep, Ronnie comes in light, 2-8-10. Very easy to do on this oil pattern. What did it look like there to you, Jason?
Just, I think it was online. Just looked like he firmed it up a little bit. And, you know, like we said earlier, that is what kills you on this pattern is if you happen to amp it up a little bit, it'll shoot right through that break point.
Covers it up, or I'm sorry, he got good count. We have a question here, that's what I was reading. They wanted to know whether or not Kenny was still a youth bowler or if Kenny was an adult bowler, and he has moved up to adults. He's bowling for the money tonight, not the scholarship. Ronnie looks like he's putting in a piece of tape. Looks like that one might have slipped off his hand just a little bit.
What is this, an 8-pin match now?
Yeah, Ronnie can still bowl 242, 224 for Kenny Ryan. So Ronnie needs a mark.
Ouch.
Solid 9 runs over the rack. That should be no problem for Ronnie Russell. However, we have seen a couple of pro bowlers miss single pin spares recently. We saw one in position round during the all-important position round game by Bill O'Neill.
Billy got a little lecture from myself after that match. Told him if he ever missed an 8-pin again, we were going to have some issues.
Ronnie Russell spares that up. He needs 3 pins to lock out Kenny Ryan.
Plenty.
That's going to do it right there. Ronnie Russell advances in your first match. Finishes with 230. And now we get a look at Kenny Ryan just to have a little TV time here. This kid's going to be back. You're going to see this guy do a lot of good things. He's going to continue down the collegiate path at Robert Morris University. He'll probably be an All-American, I predict. And maybe one day we'll see him at least competing on the regional tour and possibly on the national tour.
I think you're right there, Mike. He's a great bowler, and we'll certainly see him again.
For him to be the leading lefty in this elite field, we had a lot of great lefties bowl. We had defending champion Matt McNeil bowl. Yourself, Jason Couch bowled. George Gohagen III. Angie Ramirez was back again this year.
Anthony Pepe. Rhino Page.
And he was the cream of the crop. He rose to the top, and he's going to receive a nice check for his efforts. $1,500 to Kenny Ryan for finishing 5th here at the 2015 InsideBowling.com Open. Presented by Logo Infusion, title sponsor, Kegel and Ebonite. Kenny's last shot. Fills it up. That's a good way to finish.
Great weekend for the kid.
Kenny Ryan finishes 5th. Ronnie Russell's going to go on to face Shawn Maldonado when we come back here live from St. Louis at the 2015 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open. We'll be right back.
Both of my parents like to bowl. You know, they bowled league 2 nights a week, and my mom actually worked as a program manager at the bowling center. So I was pretty much a bowling center rat from the time I was about 5 years old.
On Sundays, we used to go bowling. Didn't everybody start with their dad on a Sunday?
Had a wonderful coach named Shirley Catt, and she kind of put her arm around me and took me and taught me a lot about bowling and a lot about life.
Welcome back to St. Louis, Missouri, Tropicana Lanes. Shawn Maldonado just taking his last practice ball. Mike Flanagan, PBA Hall of Famer Jason Couch here with me here in the booth. This should be quite a match coming up, Jason Couch.
I got to tell you, Mike, I watched Shawn bowl a lot today, and he never looked comfortable today like he did on Friday night. We're going to see what happens here, obviously, but just never looked like he was in his game today.
He elected to take no practice before this match. The guys are allowed to have practice before the show, and he said, "I don't want any practice. I'm good."
Yeah, you know what? I don't really want to agree with that, only because you want to kind of get a feel for the approaches, kind of understand what's going on down there a little bit. Just get comfortable with your surroundings, because it's different. We have the banners up. We have all kinds of stuff going on down there.
Yeah, it is a different environment. It just gets you kind of used to the set, but he elected not to because he said that if he were to practice down there and get an idea for a ball reaction before it's time for his match, he didn't want to have anything preconceived in his head. That was his reasoning behind it, so I respect that. This young man has a tremendous talent, and he's also just a gentleman. He's a good guy. He's somebody that I worked with at my previous job, and just a joy to be around, and I think he's going to break through in the near future on the big tour, on the national stage. So
I would absolutely agree with that, Mike, and he is a great guy. Got to hang out with him a little bit at the World Series the last couple of years. Just super all-around good guy.
He's young, too. He's 28 years old. And looks like
they're ready to go.
Looks like they are ready. Looks like they're discussing lane choice at this time. And it looks like Shawn is having Ronnie start the match. There's the handshake.
And I don't know if Shawn is playing offense or defense here, but Ronnie's bad shot, the 2-8-10, was on the right lane, and that would be the lane that he would finish on. So if he's playing defense, that would make sense.
Match number 2, 3-seed Shawn Maldonado versus 5-seed Ronnie Russell. Great opening shot by Ronnie in this match, and now we get to take a look at the two-handed unique style of Shawn Maldonado. Shawn, hailing from Houston, Texas, averaged 248.5 in qualifying. Unique style, has a bit of a hop at the end of his approach, but he does it every single time.
And he is a two-hander, folks, that actually puts his thumb in the ball partially. It doesn't go in all the way, but partially. And when you watch him deliver the ball, you would think that he doesn't track very high. He gets so close to the thumb hole, sometimes you hear it thump.
Earlier on his strike ball, a couple of times I heard it thump, and those balls hydroplaned down the lane and came in light.
Mike, why don't you talk a little bit about what you saw today in his game that might be the difference on I mean, honestly, on what was going on with him today.
Well, that shot there inside of target leaves the 3-6. What I noticed earlier being down sideline reporting today was that when Shawn would set the ball into the lane, and you could hear it hit the lane just so ever so slightly, almost as if you were throwing it onto a glass coffee table without trying to get it to break, and his speed was a little bit softer, it was 10 back every time. It was when he included loft and would throw it just a little bit harder, it would sail past the break point, and he would hit the pocket, but he would not carry corner pins and would leave 7-10s and 2-8-10s and things like that. So he wasn't throwing it the best today, but he certainly has a release that can give him some opportunities to be able to create some area. Now here's Ronnie Russell up on the right lane, looking to double out of the gate.
That definitely was steered up the lane a little bit, and he knew it off his hand.
I started this a few years ago because Nelson Burton Jr. is from the St. Louis area, and I really look up to Bo. I got to work with him last summer on a telecast, and I'm just going to say it now. There's a possibility of a tie.
Big Daddy lives down in my neck of the woods now.
I know he does. Such a phenomenal guy. I've been trying to get him to this event. I was hoping one of these weekends he would just be in town. Join us up here.
That would be awesome.
Ronnie Russell, left lane, third frame.
Great shot from Ronnie. And I got to tell you, Mike, even though the Big Daddy's not here, I would like to say that my weekend is complete. Got to meet the Ray Bluth, and I mean, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, you got to meet him on the opening of the telecast. 2 announcements this year. It was something new. We had Ray Bluth here and wanted to get him on. Ray's actually nursing an injury, so that's why we got him on really early, and I know you enjoyed that. Shawn Maldonado up on the right lane with another strike. So Shawn liking the right lane early in this match.
Let's see what happens on this left lane. I didn't get to see the shot before, but I know that he left the 3-6. Wasn't sure if he might have steered that one up a lane a little bit, or if he got a little slow. Didn't get to see that one from a very good angle.
I don't think I've seen a player more relaxed in our InsideBowling.com Open Finals than Ronnie Russell. Talking to the players.
Ouch.
And a solid 9 for Shawn Maldonado is not something Shawn wanted to see, but hey, a much better shot on the left lane. Don't forget, in the next match, we're going to see another two-handed style, Kyle Troup, and he attacks the lanes a little more up and at him with a little more speed.
That's for sure. He definitely stays farther to the right with a lot more ball speed. So with Ronnie being more relaxed, do you think that's just because he's made more shows over the last few years and he's starting to understand?
There's just something about the guy's demeanor, to me, that makes him just very relaxed and calm at all times. I mean, he was trying to get a lane for his kids to bowl before this match.
Just taking it all in? I mean, is there a better job than being a parent? I mean, seriously?
Not at all. And one day, I hope to experience that.
I have enough experience for you in that department, Mike.
Thank you very much. That's a strike for Ronnie Russell, putting a little heat on Shawn Maldonado early in the match.
You know, Mike, it always bothers me when I see guys balk or step off like Ronnie did. You never know how they're going to adjust to that, but, I mean, that was 10 back.
And he's been finicking with the tape quite a bit. We've seen him make a couple of tape changes. I feel like I'm watching ABC Sports with the tape changes. You don't see that as much anymore. I remember all the time they used to signal over for tape.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever do that?
Well, not very often, but it has to be your first order of business, or you get fined for going over on your time.
Comes in light for a 4-7. Kind of an unusual leave. We also saw Ronnie earlier today go front 9 and hit the pocket and leave a 6-10. He said he had never done that before. And I alluded to that earlier on about the pin carry and the racks and this pattern as the ball comes off the end of the pattern. You can see some kind of odd leaves.
And it really must have disturbed Ronnie after he left that 610 because he went ahead and came over to the next pair and bowled 300.
Maldonado up on the right lane. Great looking shot by Shawn. Now, if he can just figure out this left lane, he's going to give Ronnie a match.
Well, I think he figured it out last frame for the Stone 9, but, but we saw a lot of those this week, Mike. You know, that they're playing more of a direct line, and with the guys with the higher rev rate, that allows the ball to just certainly be sharp down lane, and we saw a ton of those this week. Did you hear that double dribble? Was that me, or did you hear that?
It did sound like a double dribble. This left lane just gotten the best of him. Inside a target again. Leaves the unorthodox 3-4-7. And Shawn just unable to double.
Oh,
but
nice.
He covers
Very
it up.
Nice.
That's a professional spare by a professional bowler. And sometimes picking a spare like that can be the difference in a match and can swing the momentum a little bit. We saw Ronnie get one wide on that right lane in the last match, and at any given time you could be staring at a 2-pin combination.
Ouch. I would not want to be shooting this spare.
On this 46-foot oil pattern, 33 mils of oil going right to left to get the ball to come back into the 9-pin. Has not been easy. It'll be interesting to see how he attacks this. I have a feeling he's going hard and straight.
I got to be honest with you, I don't even know if he even shot this spare this week. Perfect.
Absolutely perfect, Ronnie Russell. Nice spare.
4-pin match. He's still in the lead.
A max score of 244 for Russell, 240 for Shawn Maldonado. Remember, the winner of this match is going to go on to bowl Kyle Troup.
I got to imagine, Mike, that it looks like to me that Ronnie's still having some feel issues with the ball. Wow, great shot. 10 back.
Great looking shot down there by Ronnie Russell. And now coming into our camera is Rob Gotchall with our number 2 seed, Kyle Troup. Rob?
I am down here with Kyle Troup, arguably the best hair in the building for sure. But Kyle, you're probably the most energetic of our finalists. You led from the halfway point today all the way into the position round, lost a tough one to Bill O'Neill at the end. What are your keys to winning these 2 matches and taking home the title today?
One thing I'm going to do is just stay focused, do my own game. I'm not going to really throw it like these guys are going to. I may attack them a little different, but I'm just going to stay in my own head, focus on the shots and do me, and hopefully that's enough.
Thanks, Kyle. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, Kyle Troup, he is definitely a fun, energetic young person to watch. Of course, his dad being Guppy Troup. Guppy was always, and you could say more about this, Jason, but Guppy was always an energetic and fun person out on tour, known for his outfits.
And absolutely still is. I love the Gup. I've known the guy since I was in diapers, so he's always been a big influence on my life. Great guy.
Now here's Maldonado. He's been perfect on this lane.
Oh, my.
And runs over for a 10
That was
pin.
a high flush 10-pin.
Yeah, pin carry sometimes just is not fair, is it?
That was unbelievable. Where that ball went through the pins, that should have been splitting the 8-9.
Very important for Shawn to spare this. That's one thing about Shawn, too, and I think he would have picked the 7-10, at least the 4-10 for sure on that as he bounces it out. Not easy to do on these AMF machines. But one thing about Shawn that I have noticed is that he is an excellent spare shooter. And a lot of times younger players aren't as good as spare shooters because they've always practiced strike balls or they've been able to practice in bowling centers with modern technology where it would just sweep off the pins. And that's just something I've noticed. Shawn's very good at spare shooting for being a two-hander.
Absolutely. I would totally agree with that, Mike.
And Maldonado figures it out over on the left lane. A great-looking shot by Shawn.
This is a really big shot for Ronnie, especially after that 3-6-9-10 he left. I think he needs to know that he might have got that one a little up the lane, might have got a little slow. He needs to post a really good shot here, take a little bigger lead, and put a little more pressure on Shawn.
15-pin match right now. Ronnie taking a re-rack on lane 48. Gives us an opportunity to thank the folks at Tropicana Lanes for hosting this event for the 3rd year in a row. We appreciate their support and letting us come in and set up shop for 3 days.
Oh.
Ooh. Well, I guess there's some justice involved if you're Mr. Maldonado sitting on the bench. Looks familiar to him. Both players have left solid 9s. Ronnie on the right lane, Shawn on the left lane.
I'm pretty sure that Ronnie probably turned around, knowing Ronnie a little bit. Really?
Well, that makes things a little bit more interesting now. Heading into the foundation frame, the 9th frame.
What do you do off a shot like that, Mike?
I think you just breathe, relax, and just make the best shot you possibly can.
Good answer. Good answer. I definitely, I would tell him to regroup. Just throw a good shot.
Shawn Maldonado cannot be shut out in this match. Maldonado with a max score of 229. Russell with 224. Ronnie comes in light and doesn't get his patented bird dog coming over and taking out the 10.
We're starting to see a little transition going on like we did every day this week, is that they're starting to smooth out a little bit more. The back ends are starting to tighten up a little bit.
So now Russell can bowl 213. Shawn Maldonado can bowl 229. Ninth frame, working on a strike.
Shawn gets up in the ninth and strikes and gets up the first ball of the 10th. It's over. Double in any kind of reasonable count.
And look at Shawn Maldonado making a nice shot there in the ninth frame. Big double for Shawn.
So, knowing that Shawn didn't take any practice balls, if you're one of the guys on the pair before he gets there, would you throw more surface and try and break him down a little more? Or do you play your A game and do what you want? And Ronnie had a better look on the fresh, so I don't think Ronnie would have played defense and tried to break him down harder.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And with the way our practice schedule is set up, there's not a whole lot of time to do that. Strike for Maldonado, and that's pretty much going to seal the deal here, huh, Jay?
Absolutely, sir. He just needs what? Count. Really counts good.
Shawn Maldonado has come back in this match. Ronnie Russell experiencing some bad pin carry towards the end of the match, and Maldonado experienced that midway through the match. It's got to feel good for Shawn to be able to come through in the clutch. I know that he's had some difficulty performing in pressure situations on the big stage. And another strike for Maldonado. Maldonado's going to advance. Ronnie Russell is going to finish in fourth position. Ronnie Russell's going to receive $2,000. $3,000 to the winner. Or I'm sorry, $3,000 to third, $5,500 to second, and $10,000 to the winner of the 2015 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open. Also this weekend, good through Monday. Head over to logoinfusion.com and enter in the coupon code IBOPEN15 to save 15% off your order.
Now we're going to have Battle of the Two-Handers, boys.
I'm sure if Jason Belmonte was watching, he'd be proud. Jason's a good friend of mine and doing a lot of great things for bowling.
Really great weekend for Ronnie. He bowled really well. Good to see it.
And Maldonado makes a ball change as we take a look at the trophy, the Logo Infusion Championship trophy. And there's the handshake. Ronnie Russell is going to finish fourth. Shawn Maldonado advances. He's going to take on Kyle Troup, 229 to 200. When we come back, it'll be the next match coming up here live from St. Louis.
Wanted to have the first training center in the world where people could come to learn the game at a high level.
In the beginning, people were like, bowling training, there's a place you can do that?
It's a training center. It's not a bowling center, it's a training center. It's the only place like it in the world.
We were the pioneers, and we still are the pioneers in my opinion. It's just the best place to be.
We really focus on a full day with a coach or a half day with a coach. And we also have group lessons. We have Friday clinics. We also have camps. We offer pro shop training. And we also have a coaching mentorship training.
Every lesson is different. It's all based on what your needs as an individual are.
We ask them to fill out a questionnaire when they come, giving us information about what their background is in bowling and what they want to learn while they're here. And of course, we also will do our own assessment. The technology here is second to none.
Our computer-aided tracking system, we just updated it a couple years ago. We can now see more data points than we've ever seen before. Having bowler's map and video of your release, the backswing plane, the front, the side.
Immediately after you throw that shot, you can come back and see it on video and see where your body is in time and space.
There's cats on every lane and there's video on all over the place. We've got nothing going on here except for students trying to get better at the sport of bowling.
People come here, we want to make sure they have a great time, a great experience, and we help them achieve whatever their goals are. We're really committed to that.
The student has an expectation when they walk in the door, and what we try to do is exceed that.
Welcome back to the Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open, the 2015 version here at Tropicana Lanes. Take a look at that trophy. That's what's up for grabs. Mike Flanagan, Jason Couch here with you. Third match underway. Shawn Maldonado, a battle of the two-handers, taking on Kyle Troup. Maldonado coming in light for a 2-8-10, Jason.
Probably sat a little too long waiting to get things going. But you know what? Let's see. Who was Kyle was the higher seed, so he watched the last match. So he's got Maldonado starting where Ronnie did last game.
All right, he gets the count. And here's our look at Kyle Troup. Kyle said when he talked to Rob Gotchall in the previous match when he was interviewed, he said he's going to go about attacking the lanes a little bit differently than the other people on this pair.
He tends to throw the ball a little harder, going to be a little more direct. But the kid doesn't get cheated. Gets a handful. Just like that.
That's a lot of power, Jason.
I'll tell you what, if you watch Guppy Troup throw a bowling ball and you watch Kyle Troup throw a bowling ball, would you know they were related? Guppy's straight as a string.
Yeah, not a crazy outfit either.
Well, you know what?
Crazy hair.
He does have the crazy outfits, though. He's just not wearing one today.
You're right. Kyle Troup from Taylorsville, North Carolina, made the trip up with Daryl Ratliff. It's always cool to go bowl a tournament and have someone to ride with you, and Daryl was helping him through all of his match play today, and I know he's down there watching him.
Wow, got the 10 out late. Little love tap.
Opening double, he's got to be happy with that. Kyle averaged 233.1 in qualifying, had a high game of 269. Now, Maldonado, who's had a little bit of time to get used to this pair, defeating Ronnie Russell in the first match that he bowled in, the second match of our telecast. And Shawn picks up.
Ball change, Mike. Ball change for him.
Yeah, it looks like it.
He did throw it on the fill ball in the last match, and I guess he liked it. And that's the ball he went to this afternoon that actually got him back in the hunt after he bowled the 130 game.
So last time on this lane with this ball, 2-8-10. See if he can improve on this lane with this ball.
Still very light. Even though he struck, it was still pretty light. I don't know if he's seeing some transition on that lane. I would think so, but you know what? And Kyle Troup's strike on that lane got the flat 10 out late, which would mean that lane's starting to tighten up a little bit on the back.
So now Troup, who is perfect through two, looking to have an opening triple.
Steered it right up the lane.
Yeah, left the target.
Yep.
Fortunate just to leave the 3-6.
This has not been a very friendly spare for him this weekend. I've seen him miss the 3-pin, take off just the 6 a couple of times this weekend. Good cover. Tell you what, Mike, you really hit on it earlier today that he's been so focused on what he's doing, the task in front of him, and he's doing the same thing on the telecast right now. He's so into it.
a shot.
Ringing 10.
Great shot by Kyle Troup. He's got to be happy with his start. We've seen a lot of great spare shooting here tonight.
No 9 outs like the PBA League? Is that
well,
what you're saying?
I wasn't going there, but proud of this group right now. They're picking their spares. You know, Pete Weber's a good friend of mine, and Pete, well, every time he gets asked the question, what's the best tip you ever received? Pick your spares.
I say it as well as Pete does. I just tell him spares pay the rent.
Best tip I ever received, hit the head pin on your first ball. You have a better chance of striking. Oh. Now that was a 410 for a minute. And you see the power of Maldonado on this 46-foot lane pattern. Take out the 4 and the 10.
What a great break for Shawn. And he knows it. He just needs to regroup right here. Take a couple seconds.
Jay, I have not looked at my phone in a while, and I had 40-something text messages. So to those of you that are watching that have been trying to get in touch with me, I apologize. And to those of you that are in the industry and you're professionals in the industry wishing us luck tonight, thank you for that.
That looked in and slow, both.
It did look in and slow.
For you folks at home, just to let you know, I'm sure that you probably see it on the board tonight, but Jason Sterner was 6th. J.R. Raymond was 7th. Craig Nidifer was 8th. Matt Gasson was 9th. Andrew Anderson was 10th. Joseph Hostetler was 11th. And 12th place was Jared Erickson. And guys, what a great field, to be honest with you. I mean, it was solid bowling this weekend.
Definitely was. Every year the field just gets stronger. I was really impressed with the collegiate group that came out. Collegiate All-Americans, some of the best youth bowlers in the country, along with many, many locals that came out. I thank them for the support of this event. Even if they weren't sharp, many of them still came out and gave it a run to support this event, and we thank you.
You know what, Mike? I was really surprised on the amount of local bowlers that showed up and bowled the event. Didn't know that you had that strong of a contingent in the St. Louis area. I know it's a great bowling town, but I was really surprised on how many locals actually bowled.
Yeah, they've been good to me here, and Inside Bowling was started through grassroots in the St. Louis area. It was St. Louis message board to begin with, and looking forward to moving back home and getting re-energized here in the St. Louis marketplace. Many cool things planned in the future. Kyle Troup up on the left lane, looking to double. Great shot for Kyle Troup. You see the fist pump. And now Maldonado coming off the open.
I believe you said it earlier in the day. Did the kid smell blood in the water?
I think he might have. But Maldonado having that triple in there on top of 2 opens, you know, it's certainly possible for Shawn Maldonado to go off the sheet. Wouldn't put it past him. Oh. Maldonado leaves the 10 with a messenger. It seems like every time these guys throw the bowling balls down the lane, there's some other pin that comes over and tries to knock another pin down. This is the first time I've ever called a match between 2 two-handers in a final.
I got to tell you that watching Troup play him a little straighter, a little firmer, seems to be matching up a lot better. What kind of move, Mike, do you think that Shawn's going to make on his left lane, or does he know that he threw it bad the previous shot?
I think it's more about feel. I think it's more of a feel thing with Shawn. I think that Shawn's just got to get in a groove and feel comfortable. And, you know, it's no secret Shawn doesn't split boards. He creates area. He opens up the lane pattern. And destroys racks sometimes, and that's one of them. And Ronnie Russell up near the booth hanging out with us, he saw that one and he said that's further to the right. Now we're going to move down to Rob Gotchall, who's standing by with our top seed, Bill O'Neill.
Guys, I'm down here with tournament leader Bill O'Neill. Bill, this is your third consecutive year on the IB Open telecast. Obviously, you got a lot of experience here on the TV paired. Do you think that plays an advantage for you tonight?
Well, I sure hope so. I know this the rack on this right lane has consistently been a little tricky. I mean, you've already seen on the telecast, just had a couple stone 9s and some messenger 10s, and it gets a little tricky. So hopefully that comes into my advantage knowing that, and you know, I can play a little further right and knock them all down.
Well, best of luck to you tonight, Bill, and hopefully you can become the first 2-time champ of the IB Open.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, Bill O'Neill, he's talked to me quite a few times about that right rack, and I said earlier today that I feel like Bill O'Neill's going to change his mailing address to 47 and 48 at Tropicana Lanes.
He's gotten the bank account quite fluffy on that pair the last couple of years.
Yeah, guaranteed at least $5,000 a night, $5,500 to be exact, because second place, that's what it pays. First place, $10,000, of course. Third will receive $3,000. Now back to business on the right lane. Kyle Troup working on a double.
Oh, boy. Not what you wanted to do right there.
No, and that's what we've seen from these power players. When they make a bad shot, it's not a 10-pin. It's not maybe what you would call a swishing 7 or even a 4-pin when they go high. It is, they pay maximum penalty, and 2-8-10 is definitely a spare that's been common.
He needs to go for the 2. He needs to get the 2 here because it's going to be a huge factor in the right now. Oh. This can keep it, you know, down to a really 1-pin match, 2-pin match if Maldonado ends up striking there. So, you know, that was huge to get the 2.
Max score for Kyle Troup, 232. Now Shawn Maldonado with a max score.
234.
234. Good matches here tonight, very close.
As it should be with a very competitive pattern, multiple angles.
Nice shot, Kyle Troup.
What do you think, Mike? What do you think is going to happen right here on this shot?
I don't know. I think it's a mixed bag. I think anything can happen, really. But I'm hoping for Shawn, though. Knowing the experience he's had recently on TV and bowling for large sums of money, I hope for his sake he makes some good shots and let the pin gods decide it.
Ouch. Great shot. Really was a good shot. Still an 8-pin match with conversion. I mean, you know, I know he's disappointed that he didn't strike, but you got to keep the business in front of you and do your job. Make the spare. Go ahead and set yourself up in the next frame.
Good spare shooter, Shawn Maldonado. Take a look at the scoreboard. 214 max score for Maldonado. Kyle Troup going at a 2:02 pace.
Nice shot. Very nice shot. Just splitting the 8-9.
Well, that's what Shawn needed to do is set up the 10th frame. Now he just sits back and waits, and he's going to be a spectator just like us and see what Kyle can do. Be interesting to see if any of the re-racks are used here.
You know,
stall or buy a little time.
I don't think so, Mike. He just gassed the last one. Just threw it right through the break point. What he has to do is just calm himself down, just make a good shot.
Make it dance a little bit more across the deck.
Comic messenger. Not even close.
Is there a such thing as too much power, Jason? You obviously were a great power player in your prime. The most revolutions on a bowling ball by a left-hander was putting one hand into it. Is there a such thing? Have there been times where you just had too much power?
I think that, sometimes you create so much angle coming into the behind the head pin that you throw pins everywhere, but they're never going to connect because you're behind the head pin.
So that makes things extremely interesting.
But you have to realize as well, in today's environment, we're starting to see a lot more two-handers involved. So I think that power is starting to be a bigger factor than it has been in the past.
So Kyle Troup can still bowl 212 and can force Shawn Maldonado to have to double in the 10th frame. It all starts here. First shot in the 10th, Kyle Troup.
Great shot.
He knows his job's not done yet. He knows that double's going to be huge, making Maldonado finish. And that's what Kyle did with his lane choice. He wanted Maldonado to finish. He wanted to put the pressure on Shawn Maldonado, and this is exactly what he's able to do. If Kyle does not strike on this ball, Shawn Maldonado will just need to fill the 10th frame with a spare with good count and good count after.
No, sir. No, sir.
No,
Kyle,
you're right. I'm sorry.
Yes. Kyle is... Oh, two messengers missed. Kyle's going to bowl 2-0.
Yeah, let's look at this.
Still going to need... If he makes this spare, he gets a 2-0-2. And then it'll make Maldonado get the first hit.
That's what
Strike
it is.
9 spare for 2-0-3.
Thank you, sir. I stood corrected.
As the Big Daddy would say, there is a possibility of a tie.
Yes, there is. All right, so Kyle Troup finishes with 2-0-2.
Getting up on this right lane where the carry's been a little suspect is not the lane I would want to finish on. This better be high flush.
It's in Maldonado's hands. And more of the same on this right lane. Bill O'Neill alluded to it. And Kyle Troup is going to advance to take on tournament leader Bill O'Neill. A 7-10 for Shawn Maldonado.
So if you're looking at the TV show so far, Mike, no one's won more than one match.
Nobody's won more than one match. It's staying true to the true step ladder. It's Kyle Troup, 2-0-2, defeating Shawn Maldonado, bowling only 182. Congratulations to Kyle. He's going to bowl for the title. Shawn Maldonado receives $3,000. And we'll come back with a title match here in just a moment, live from St. Louis at Tropicana Lanes.
Hello bowling fans, I'm Tommy Jones. I'm here to talk to you about the new Game Breaker 2. As you can see, there's not much difference in how the two look, and there's really not much difference in how the two roll. If you like the original Game Breaker, you will love the Game Breaker 2. It is new modified V2 core, just gives it a little more back-end reaction down lane and helps it go through the pins a little stronger than the original Game Breaker. So if you like the first one, you're going to love the second one. So remember, bowl it forward.
Welcome back to St. Louis Tropicana Lanes here for our title match. You're taking a look at Jim Cormier. He is the Vice President of Marketing for Ebonite International. We want to thank Ebonite for being part of this event. Here we go, championship match, Jay Couch. Kyle Troup is going to start on the left lane. Bill O'Neill elects to have Kyle Troup start and finish the match.
Every match, the higher seed has had the guy start on the left lane.
And Kyle comes in light for the 2-4.
I want to give a little shout out to my man Levi Johnson, Chris Johnson and Stephanie Johnson's little boys watching tonight. Levi, what's up, kid? Conversion of the spare.
Some people in the chat want to know why Shawn made that ball change. I'm going to ask him real quick. Shawn, why'd you make the ball change in the match?
My IQ towards solid was going over my thumb hole, and going straight up, I guess it wouldn't be a problem, but if I moved in, it's rolling my thumb hole, it would never react.
Okay, thanks. Give you that answer in just a moment as we take a look at Bill O'Neill on the right lane. Opening shot in the match.
Oh.
Through the face. Ball nosedived. Shawn Maldonado said that the other ball he was using was an IQ Tour, and the IQ Tour was rolling over the holes, and he couldn't get it to read the lane right, and he felt that the Optimus was a better ball for him to use in the match just because it was rolling better and not thumping over the holes, which is something you alluded to, Jason, that sometimes he thumps over the holes. Oh, look at that.
Nice, nice Philly Billy.
Bill O'Neill covers the 3-4-6-7. That's got to make him feel good. That's got to kind of relax you a little bit.
I got to tell you that he wasn't real thrilled about the way through the first one, so I think he just got felt good that he got the spare, and hopefully he focuses up right here.
Jason, as you're more familiar with the Ebonite product line, what ball is Bill O'Neill using tonight?
From here, it looks like a Black Widow Red Legend. One of the newer balls that we came out with. Everybody knows the original Black Widow Legend, and this is the pearlized version of it. Billy threw it a little bit today. He only stuck to 3 bowling balls, so Billy's had that game plan going, and you know what? That one looked really good, so I'm assuming he's got the right ball in his hand. I just think that first one didn't get off his hand very well.
Championship match. Remember, first place gets $10,000. Second place, $5,500, I should say. $4,500 match.
Very nice shot from Kyle Troup. Still looks determined, Mike. Still looks focused. I think bowling in the southern region, where he's been bowling quite a bit, and winning a few PBA regionals, has got him where he feels comfortable bowling in front of some people.
Kyle Troup, only 23 years old. He's the oldest 23 I think I've ever seen when it comes to composure. He always taps his leg, too, before he bowls, every single time.
Wow, good shot, good shot. Looked a little firm, Mike. A little firm for the ring and 10.
Ring and 10 for Kyle Troup. I think he'd take that shot every time. Bill O'Neill left a ring and 10 over on that lane, too.
Once again, we go back to what we talked about earlier, is that speed. You throw it really hard, it never sees the break point, and it'll 2-8-10. But yet, if you throw it just a pinch hard, it's gonna leave that corner pin every time.
Bill O'Neill has quite a run at this tournament. He's bowled 3 years, this being the 3rd. He's won, he's finished 4th, and now he's the top seed.
Nice shot by Billy there.
And you
Bird dog.
know what's funny? I talked to Bill, and Bill told me, he said, you know what, Mike? I'm kind of the old guy now with all these youngsters. He and Ronnie Russell were joking around about how they were two of the oldest bowlers in the top 12. He also told me that he doesn't believe he's much of a power player anymore. He's got plenty to get it done, but compared to these two-handers and everybody else coming up, Bill is just one of the guys. He's just kind of more of the conventional style, the late 90s, early 2000 power player developed as a youth bowler, but just much more power coming out today, and he really feels like a veteran.
Well, he's wet behind the ears compared to me, but he's right, though. The rev rates have gotten a lot higher, and there's been, just blower 7. But, you know what, he is right to some degree that he's not the power player anymore compared to what the kids do today, you know, especially the two-handers. But you know what? Billy's really good at speed adjustments and hand positions and angles. So, you know what? Billy's going to excel most of the time anyways. And he's got a lot of experience. Makes him a tough guy to beat every single week. Nice conversion on the 7-pin. Kyle Troup is, well, what's been the tough lane for most of the guys. It looks like he's been doing okay on this lane. So I would think that he's going to try and take advantage of Billy's bad break.
Yeah, we have a dead wood that they are now clearing right now. Doing it the way that we do it around here. Just rolling a ball down the channel. We're going to watch Bill O'Neill gutter right now on our telecast.
That's how you roll around here, Mike?
That's how we roll. We clean it up. Take care of business ourselves.
I did enjoy my chat with Ray Bluth tonight, and I did explain to Ray that when he used to bowl, he bowled on absolute dirt, and he would bowl 690 like it was nothing. And then I explained that I bowl on the house china, and I bowl about 620.
Ray and Tino are absolutely great hosts here at Tropicana. They're just a couple of older dudes that love competitive bowling. Now here's Troup.
That looked in. That definitely looked in, Mike. That ball steered up pretty quick.
Well, my opinion, nerves are starting to come into play a little bit. It's a championship match now. He's bowling the man that's owned this event, and Bill O'Neill.
And bowling as long as I have with Bill O'Neill, you don't want to get behind the 8 ball with this kid, because you know what? He's not going to make some errant shots. He's just going to continue business down the road and be that guy that's just going to bury him.
All right, so he gets good count. Let's take a look at the scoreboard here. Jason, tell us what's going on.
Right now we have Kyle Troup with 64 in the 4th, and Billy O'Neill with a spare up in the 4th. And you know, obviously he's got a he can extend his lead to 15 pins with a mark. But Kyle needs to really set himself up here. He needs to. This is an important shot for him. Don't want to get behind the 8 ball really quick. Much better shot. You know, Mike, with the nerves, they're going to come into play at some point. I know that he's had some experience with the regionals, and he's won some regionals, but you know, he is bowling Bill O'Neill, and I think that is somewhat of a factor to intimidate him a little bit.
Yeah, especially with the success he's had here, not to mention the success that he's had everywhere else. I mean, he really does own this event. Jake Peters owned this event years 1 and 2. He finished 1st, 2nd, and then 7th, year 3, and hasn't been back since. But now it's Bill O'Neill's tournament, and Bill O'Neill continues to struggle on this championship pair.
Once again, I'll say it, I wouldn't want to shoot this spare on this pattern.
And I don't think Bill does either, and he knows.
And Ronnie went hard and straight at it. What's Billy going to do?
I would imagine Billy's going to do a little hook at it.
Me as well.
Out to the right, and hopefully it comes in and takes care of the 9. But because this pattern is so flat and has so many 2-2s, oil applied from the 2 board to the 2 board, it's very difficult to get the ball to bounce back from the ditch. So we'll see what happens.
Nice, very nice conversion.
That's a professional spare. We've seen that picked 2 different ways now. Ronnie Russell going hard and straight. Bill O'Neill picking it the way you would pick it, or that I would try to convert that spare as well.
So, guys, through 4 frames, Bill O'Neill holds an 11-pin advantage. Obviously, Kyle can knock that down to 1-pin advantage if he gets up in doubles. Billy needs to get up here and make a good shot, feel more comfortable.
Take a look at the grip of Bill O'Neill.
Oh, slap that stone 9 out of there, kid. It looks like right now, whoever figures the right lane out, in which we've seen every competitor make those guys finish on that lane, is going to win this tournament.
Finish the match and finish on the right lane has been a common trend tonight on this telecast. Jason, I want to thank you for sitting in the booth with me, too, before it gets too late here. I really appreciate you being able to spend some time with us here in St. Louis, participate, and call the finals with me.
Pleasure's all mine, Mike, seriously. That looked a little firm, guys. Never read the lane, but once again, the same lane we've been talking about is giving guys the trouble.
And Kyle's baffled. Look at him. He doesn't know what to think. He thought that was a really good shot off of his hand.
I would like to thank Matt Turek, though, because he stayed awake the entire day today. Props to the Red Bull and Matt.
Matt Turek, our producer, bringing you all these images up on the screen.
He's done a fabulous job, guys.
Here in the booth with us. Well, lucky to cover that spare.
Yes, he was. That looked like it was going to be a chop all the way.
Very difficult to throw at left side spares here with so much length, but also as it went on, you would see some friction in the middle of the lane, so you didn't know whether it was very easy to slide past it, and it was also very easy to hook past it, depending on what part of the block you were throwing cross lane at the spare. So
absolutely. Through 5 frames, guys, Bill O'Neill has an 11-pin advantage. Strike up. That did look right, guys. That looked right off his hand. Back-to-back buckets, by the way. No bargain.
No, and that's what this oil pattern does. And it's really what I enjoy about this tournament is the dominant power players. Even though we see a lot of power on the show tonight, it forces them to straighten up their angles, and it forces them to play a part of the lane that the rest of us have to play. Although I have dabbled with two-handed bowling a little bit, Jason.
I tell you what, I have not, but I'm sure it's no bargain. I mean, the amount of torque you put on your lower back is brutal.
I was averaging 151 in league through about 21 games.
I think Kyle just needs to regroup and maybe soften up a little bit. I think he'll be fine. He's a great bowler. Billy O'Neill to take a commanding lead here if he can figure out how to double.
This right lane is tricky. We'll see what he does. Well, that's about as good a shot as you can throw right there. I think Bill will actually be happy with that result.
And any of you viewers that have not watched today or maybe watched a little bit, this is about the time that we'd be in the middle of the block and we would see some tremendous transition. So these guys are really seeing what they've seen all weekend, is that transition at this time. Through 7 frames, guys, Billy O'Neill has a 15-pin lead going into frame 8.
Anything can happen in this match. Anything can happen. Bill's been around the pocket a lot more. Kyle has lost the pocket. We'll see if it stays true to bowlers only winning one match.
Great shot by Billy.
He likes the left lane.
Yes, he does. Well, everybody likes the left lane. It's figuring out how to go through the pins on the right lane and figuring out how it's transitioning. Now, at this point, Kyle's doing the right thing. He's taking a re-rack. He's composing himself to get up and throw a good shot. Accolades to the kid for understanding to be patient and just throw a good shot.
Wise beyond his years. 23 years old, Taylorsville, North Carolina. Son of PBA star Guppy Troup. Average 233.1 in qualifying.
Great shot. Ball change as well. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did. It was a good ball change. He used that ball towards the end of the block earlier today. And he's had a rough day. He fell down on a shot earlier today and had to take a foul, attempting a spare. Came back and struck right after it. But he's just kind of had one of those days. And he's had some shots get away from him here and there, but bowled good enough to qualify in the second position. They weren't easy today.
Wow, another great shot.
Wow, look at that right there. That's Kyle Troup, everybody, and that's a huge double.
Big shot for Billy O'Neill here. That's got a hook. That's got a hook. That was way right.
Bill O'Neill comes in light, leaves the 1, 2, 8, 10.
How quick things change. Billy is now in the rears. It's going to be a lead change here. Billy needs to get up and throw all three in the 10th to force Kyle to get the first hit.
Wow, what a change of events. But remember, O'Neill wants Kyle Troup to finish on the right lane. Kyle did figure it out and strike the last time. So if Bill strikes out, he might take his chances and be happy with that.
Right.
Trips out to 4. He's going to take that. Hand on the forehead. Seems like every time bowling for this title, when we zoom in on the opponent, they're always extremely stressed out. Every time in this building on this pair. I absolutely love it.
Billy has to strike here to force Kyle to do anything, really. I mean, if he doesn't strike here, Kyle can make any kind of mark and it's over. Big shot for Billy.
Comes in light for the 2-8-10.
Any kind of mark for Mr. Troup, he's a winner.
Bill talked about this pair in the interview with Rob Gotchall. And they were tricky again tonight for Bill.
182 for Mr. Bill O'Neill. Let's see what happens. This has been the tricky lane all night, folks, but the last shot Kyle threw on this lane, it was 10 back.
Kyle Troup up in the 10th frame with an opportunity to seize the day and capture the 2015 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open. He can do it right here on this ball.
Great shot.
That's a strike, and Kyle Troup is your 2015 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open champion. Presented by Kegel with online coverage all weekend, brought to you by Ebonite.
Props to Mike Flanagan. You said it early today, too, that you thought he looked so focused that you thought he had a really good pop.
Yeah, and to make a ball change and to throw a triple like that, to win this tournament, kudos to him. We're very proud to have Kyle as a champion of this event, and Bill O'Neill, you know, in 3 years to finish first, fourth, and second, nothing to be ashamed of.
Great bowling to both of the gentlemen tonight.
One tidbit I did have written down that we failed to mention about Bill O'Neill, the bowling ball that he used this year, it's the same ball he used last year, and it sat at his house, and it's only used for this event.
Maybe he should go to rentalocker.com.
I think he should. There you have it. Bill O'Neill finishes second, receives $5,500. Kyle Troup is our champion. He receives $10,000. Congratulations to him. When we come back in St. Louis, it's going to be a check and trophy presentation. We'll be right back.
Hello everyone, I'm Tommy Jones and I'm here to talk to you about the new Code of Honor. The Code of Honor is the solid, sanded version of the original Honor. This bowling ball rolls just a little bit sooner, but continues to have the same great back-end reaction as the original Honor. This bowling ball is designed to use for medium to heavy oil lanes and not lose any part of reaction in the back end. So go out and get yours today, and remember to bowl it forward.
Welcome back to Tropicana Lane, St. Louis, Missouri, the Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open, and I am here with the check and trophy presentation for Kyle Troup, our 2015 champion. First, Jim Cormier from Ebonite, the Vice President of Marketing, has a nice trophy here to present to you.
Kyle, great bowling. Excellent job. And on behalf of everybody at Ebonite International, we thank you for a great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, and then this is the most important one here. We've got the check, and we've got Adam Ishman from Logo Infusion.
Here.
You the money.
Kyle, on behalf of Logo Infusion, we'd like to give you a check for $10,000. Congratulations. Awesome ball. Thank you.
All right, why don't you hand the trophy off to those guys, and I'm going to interview you here. Kyle, awesome bowling, first of all, man. Congratulations. You're a great champion here. And I know that you bowled last year and you had a little bit of injury, and I know you really wanted this one. Tell the folks at home what it means to you to win this tournament.
I mean, this is probably going to top a lot of the regional wins that I've had. I mean, I've been looking forward to this tournament ever since I left last year, and I mean, I'm kind of, I don't even know what to say right now. I was very excited. I mean, I wanted this pretty bad, and I'm speechless. Damn, you got me.
Well, buddy, you're a man of a lot of words, so I'm going to get you a little more comfortable here. I want to talk a little bit about that match. You made a huge ball change towards the end of the match. Talk about that decision.
My buddy Daryl Ratliff, the guy that rode with me, we've been talking between the two balls all day, the IQ Nano and the Rocket. Same layout, one's slower, one's faster. And after I went back-to-back buckets on what I thought was good shots, I was like, okay, that ball's got to go. And then, I threw 2 strikes, and I'm just sitting here thinking, because he's like, throw the Rocket. And I was like, no, I'm going to throw the Nano. But I got lucky that it didn't cost me and showed up in the 10th.
That's awesome. Any companies or anybody that you need to thank about this tournament and for yourself?
Storm, some of the best bowling balls in the market. Turbo Grips, on staff with them. Logo Infusion, Ebonite, all y'all here, the staff at Tropicana Lanes. I just want to say thank you to everybody. It's been a blast all weekend.
Well, Kyle, we're proud to have you as our champion. We hope to see you back next year.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for tonight's coverage here from Tropicana Lanes. The 2015 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open is in the books. We will be back next year the same weekend as the last weekend in April. We're also very excited to announce that we're going to be doing an event at South Point Plaza the week before the World Series of Bowling. More information on that on InsideBowling.com. On behalf of my entire staff here with InsideBowling.com, the tournament staff, the proprietors here at Tropicana Lanes, and all of our great sponsors, thanks for having us tonight and into your living rooms, and have a good night.